Okay, so I'm late as usual, but oh my god, we are like halfway to 1,000 subs, and that's really cool. So yeah, you guys voted and you wanted a Q&A. You stalkers. I got y'all to ask questions and I'm going to answer because that's how these things work. So yeah, I asked for you guys to ask questions on a whole bunch of my other platforms besides YouTube, and oh my god, you guys delivered. So before we get into the specific ones, I'm just gonna quickly answer the commonly asked questions. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is blue, specifically sky blue, because I like how light it is and it's just very comforting to me. It feels like home. Favorite animal? My favorite animals are meerkats. They're just a bunch of little dudes. They're like me, for real. But if I had to choose a domesticated breed of animal, I'm very much a cat person, despite what my personality says online. I'd much rather own a cat. They're little butts, but that's okay, I can deal with that. Favorite activity? Obviously drawing. But it can be anything in the creative arts, really. So that's basically music, acting, voice acting, animating, all that jazz. Favorite food? It really depends. If it's like food in general, either a hot dog or a snag. If it's a sweet food, I'd say maybe any sour sweets. So like the Warheads and the Sour Patch Kids and all that stuff. Who inspired you to draw? Okay, we'll go through this one real quick because I know I will waffle on with this. So basically towards the end of grade 6, I had this like orientation thing at high school that I'm currently at now. And I saw a friend of mine and they were drawing characters. And I was like, oh my god, holy, I want to do that too. And Undertale had just released around that time too, so, I was just getting into that. That was my first fandom. So along with the first fandom, I got my first sketchbook, and now I am here. Yeah. At least my characters are somewhat proportionate. Alright, so we're gonna start off with all the questions I got from YouTube, because, yeah. What would you do in a zombie apocalypse? Weapons, bunkers, etc. I'm not sure. I'm really not that big into the zombie genre, but I have a friend who's probably maybe watching this, maybe not, and he's ready to fucking strangle me and for doing something wrong with this. So please spare me. Please spare me. I guess avoid cars. From what I've seen, it's pretty much no use once you run out of petrol, and it's more of a temporary thing. Weapons, I don't know. In the small town that I'm in, I might be able to find a gun, but then it'd be very hard to find ammunition, so I'll just grab a plank of wood and some nails. That'll work. I don't know, collect as much food as I can, just like laying around. Stay away from the shops, because like, I don't know, zombie infestations. Get the hell out of there with the fam. Maybe use some bikes. I don't know, just something. I'm bad at this. What's your favorite video games? Yes. Okay, jokes aside, I know it's only recent. But I absolutely love Somerville. I watched Jacksepticeye play it, and oh my god, I loved it. As an artist, a fan artist, I'm known for lots of other games, and I do like lots of other games, but if I had to choose a specific one, it'd be Somerville. Wow, I actually chose something for once, and I didn't go on a ramble about that. It's definitely not going to stay forever. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? I have two specific pieces of advice. Well, one was given to me, but the other one I found on an Instagram story from Kyle Allen Music. Screenshotted it and everything. And sorry about that, Kyle. I'll get to that piece of advice in a sec. So the first one I was given by my music teacher. He was annoyed with me because I was given this opportunity to perform some original pieces. And I kept making excuses. I kept downplaying myself, and I kept saying things like, I'm not worth their time. And, you know, he got annoyed, and he's like, it's fine if you have things in your life that are stopping you, but what's going on in your mind, all those little voices, you shouldn't care about that. Gale, life is a long, winding path you take, and along that path you'll find doors, opportunities. Instead of just pushing away because you think you're not good enough, just give it a chance and look through it. If it's not a door you want to enter, just close the door and move on. There's lots of other doors. You eventually find a door that you can walk through, continuing your journey through there, where you'll find more doors to look through. Just give it a chance. And I don't know if it was the visualization that helped, but, you know, it's definitely something I did hold on to. And I did do that performance, and he was right. I shouldn't have pushed it away like that because I had fun. Yeah. Now, the next piece of advice, like I said, this was on an Instagram story from Kyle Allen Music, and I still occasionally look at the screenshot. I will share the screenshot as I read it to you. If you ever feel bad about not having followers or subs, look back and realize you didn't sell out to the next biggest trend. Stay true to what you want to do and the numbers will grow. Also, the slower you build your fandom, the stronger it will be. People who get mass subs are at a high risk of having an unreliable fan base. Now, I am someone who has really bad self-confidence issues. I think too hard on things, and I am a people pleaser, so I try to do what makes people happy. But the last few years, I learned in a very hard way that I can't please everyone. And recently, although I don't share it often, I started to draw more for myself again, and I felt happy. And when I do post original content that I enjoy, like my OCs and that, they don't do as well as my fan content, but honestly, I don't care, because there are people who are following me because they like to see how happy I get when I share my OCs or when I talk about an obscure piece of media content that I like. In the past 2 months, I've noticed that I've lost about 30 followers on Insta, about 10 on Twitter, but I just reached 500 subs on YouTube. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of glad, because that means the people that are still here, they're the real deal. I've been posting content for 2 years, trying hard, like very hard, to be noticed, but didn't realize that I was noticed. I have made some of the coolest online friends and the best online family I could ask for. I don't think I ever get to say it enough, but I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate the lot of you for sticking around these past 2 years and dealing with my BS. Oh wow, okay. This is why you don't let me have free reign and let me go off script, because I ramble. I feel like this isn't going to be the only time I do that. Let's go on to the next question. Do you have something you want to achieve in the future? Right now, it's just finish high school, get a job, go to uni. But in regards to what I'm doing with my channel, I'd like to hope I get over my self-confidence issues and post a bit more music. I just get weird about it because I can hear this accent when I sing. I don't know if you can hear it. I certainly do. It might have something to do with the types of songs I've been taught to sing. I'm taught to sing more country and folk and less pop, rock and jazz, which I steer to more. Yeah. Hope you're having a good day so far. Thank you. I hope you are too. Hold on. This one is really random. Hold on. What are your opinions on knees? Who needs them? Alright, these next 2 set of questions are from Twitter. How was your weekend? Well, I am on my Christmas break and I won't be back to school till late January, early February. So I guess you could say my long weekend is going well. Hi, I have a question for you. Can you please make Freddy X Bonnie a returning friend again? Because that was the most successful thing to make, so can you please make it? Oh boy. So, okay, for those who don't know, earlier this year I made this small comic series called A Returning Friend, centered in this alternative universe I made for Five Nights at Freddy's. This comic was Security Breach specifically, but this is in a whole sort of like remake timeline thing / no robots, because they aren't robots in this AU. It was a ship comic, but it was also kind of an introduction to my other little thing, like the extended family thing within this part of the timeline. It gained quite a bit of attention, I do have to say. And it gained a lot to the point of having like its own dub. So I guess you could say that it was my most popular piece of media. Which is why I am not going to remake it. I've learnt a bit from making this comic, if I'm being honest, and I don't know. But I think I should just leave it despite the mistakes that I can see. And people seem to enjoy it, so, you know. That, and I've just lost motivation for FNAF at the moment. Maybe when the DLC releases, I might draw some more art, but yeah, sorry about that. Alright, TikTok, let's go. What / who inspired your art style? I don't know. I consume a lot of media, and my style tends to change a slight bit depending on what catches my eye. For example, in a lot of my recent art, I've been drawing mouths inspired by Rise of the TMNT because there's just I don't know, I'm particularly drawn to how they stylize the mouths. It's like, I think it's just, I like how it sits, perhaps? I don't know. Or with the way I build up my bodies, I take a lot of inspiration from ABD Illustrates here on YouTube, because that's how they get that fluid movement in their characters while also keeping it structured and not so like flat. From what everyone else tells me, the style reminds them a lot of Disney. I personally don't see it, but I'm also not surprised if it's the case because I did grow up on a lot of Disney movies. So, what is your favorite childhood cartoon? Oh no. So this is going to be hard. I grew up in a household where we kind of had a bit of strict access to the internet. So I watched a lot of TV when I was a kid. There are so many shows that I could pick from, but I'm very indecisive, so I'll give you my top 3. One being my absolute favorite. Third is Power Rangers Samurai. That shit slapped. My brother and I got like so excited when the theme song came on, we'd like run at the speed of light. Number 2, I'd say Steven Universe, because, you know, without that show, we wouldn't have Two Souls, One Mind, so... that, and I just like the story. The only problem I had with it was with Rose Quartz / Pink Diamond, but, you know, other than that, I enjoyed it. It's kind of like a comfort show to me now. And number 1 would have to be 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just like turtles. And action films and shows. Leave me alone. Alright, this last few questions are from Instagram. I remembered your story where the main characters are Dehuster and CG5. So will you continue this project? If it's ready, then I'm sorry, I just don't know. First of all, don't apologize, honey. I did say any questions, so... Okay, so I started this Minecraft SMP inspired comic centered around the musicians CG5 and Dehuster. Now, I had the storyline completed in that, but I just lost motivation to draw it, which makes me feel bad. But because a lot of the characters were based off of real people, like the mods and admins of their respective servers, I couldn't keep it consistent, so I just stopped. So I do apologize for that, and maybe in the future I could rewrite it so that it was more centered around Charlie and Dehuster and just have like OC inspired characters. But yeah, that's for the future to decide on. Which, speaking of, have you thought about doing a comic for your OCs? They sound interesting and I would love to know more about them. Best regards, Little Doodle. Oh, thanks, Doodle. Thanks, Peepers. Okay, so the characters I believe Peepers here is talking about are the characters that are in the speed paint currently, along with these other characters. They are from a story I've actually been working on a little before I actually started drawing, believe it or not. I think 2015, 16. But it was completely different to what I have now. It started off as a Steven Universe self-insert story, then I forgot about it, but then it just turned into this like one fantasy story called Two Souls, One Mind. And I'm glad you brought up the comic thing as well, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. As well as animations, of course, but that's more of like a little side thing. Also, a little spoiler for an upcoming video, but I'm working on the first set of voice claims for my characters. For those who don't know, a voice claim is what you associate your character's voice with. So you could have like Gale, I associate their voice with Ethan Crank Gameplays. That's who I hear when I see Gale. So and I do say the first set as well because there are still a few characters that I'm unsure about, but you know, I'd like to give the audience a chance to kind of like give me their opinion on it. So long answer short, yes, I do plan on making this into a comic in the future. I just got to finish finalizing scripts and characters and concepts and rules. What's your favorite time of day? My favorite time of day is midday, and it's random, I know. But when it's like slightly overcast and breezy, I like to sit out and just watch the clouds and just draw out like random little scenes with the clouds. And it's fun. I like it. Who's your favorite music artist? Oh god, no, please. The question came. Okay, this is going to be hard because I listen to a lot of music. I just put on a random, like, you know those generated ones, the generated YouTube playlist. I just press one of those and go for it. A specific genre I like is nerdcore because it covers all the other genres. Surprising that I like nerdcore. Stop avoiding this. Okay, if I had to choose, I think it would have to be CG5. Just because he got me into songwriting. It started with Can I Get an Amen? Because like many others, I was upset and furious that he dare copy the games. But then that anger immediately vanished when I listened to the song. And yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. I just sat there and listened. I thought it was really funky. I liked the transitions and that. And I was a few years into learning the guitar by then, but listening to this song made me want to write my own song. I don't remember what the song was called or what character it was based on. I lost that page long ago, the same year I made it. But I just know that it was a bendy song and it was meant to be jazz inspired, but because I only knew a few chords at the time, like the basic G chord, C chord, A minor chord, it didn't really sound jazzy. But anyway, now whenever I write music or like produce songs and that, I think, what would CG5 do? And I know it's kind of weird, but I don't really care. His music's been there for me during my downs and during my celebrations and during my everything. I very much look up to him, and I'm not a big fan on like the idolization thing or anything. I like to look at my inspirations equally, but if there was one thing I'd like to do, it's meet Charlie and just thank him for everything. And And that's honestly it. I don't care if I don't cross off collab with CG5 on my bucket list. I'd be grateful to just meet him or just talk to him. And I rambled again. Alright, let's get to the last question. On an art related one, what are your plans for the future? Any projects? So, Two Souls, One Mind is really the only big art project that I'm working on. Other than that, I'm just waiting to see where life takes me, and see where this channel goes. Thank you so much for those who asked questions, and thank you for these questions. I hope this does answer some queries, and I hope this doesn't put me on a hit list. If you liked the video and want to see more, I don't know, there's a description down below with my other platforms, like Instagram, Discord, Twitter. And I also have other videos here and animations on my channel that you can check out. And yeah, thank you so much again for 500 subscribers. And I will see y'all or talk to y'all real soon. Till we meet again.